This is Paul Schmid. Welcome to the Pursuit Zone. When Norwegian surfers Jørn, Nyseth, Ranum, and Inge Vega discovered an isolated bay on a remote Arctic island along the coast of northern Norway, they wondered if it would be possible to spend 9 months of winter there, surfing the ice-cold waves rolling in from the Atlantic Ocean. With only a few hand tools, they built a little cabin from the driftwood and other trash washing ashore. They also brought their cameras and filmed the entire adventure. Their award-winning movie, Nord for Sola, or North of the Sun, is a must-see. You can learn more about it at facebook.com/nordforsola. Jørn, Nyseth, Ranum, welcome to the Pursuit Zone.
Thank you. That was a cool introduction. Thanks.
Jørn, how did you, as a Norwegian, come to get into surfing?
I don't know exactly when it started, but I've been snowboarding. It feels like I've been snowboarding my whole life. I grew up in a small mountain village in the middle of South Norway. So snowboarding has always been a part of my life. So then surfing was something I always wanted to try. And then I moved up in the north to attend film school. And then I just figured out I just have to buy a surfboard because this is one of the most famous places in Norway for surfing. So I just bought a surfboard and learned to surf up there in the north. It's a different experience than warm water and all of that. It takes a bit more passion maybe to get into the water and get started doing it. But once you're used to it, it's super fun and super fine. It's no problem with the cold actually.
Where I live in the middle of the United States, we don't have a lot of surfing here, so I don't really know anything about surfing. One thing I wanted to ask you is about your surfboards. Are you using a special type of surfboard?
Actually, I don't know so much about surfboards either. The first boards I bought was second-hand boards. We just bought them and went up north, and I just been surfing those boards since I bought them. But now lately I bought a new surfboard that it's a bit wider and has a bit more volume, so it's easier to paddle into the waves. But I don't know what is a typical surfboard for Norwegian conditions, but I guess it's good to have an all-round board, or at least for me, I think.
So how did you two guys end up finding this location where the movie takes place?
Both of us had been living in this area before we met each other, actually. And both of us had been on this beach just for hiking, and we had been searching for waves just in this area because we wanted to find new spots for surfing. That's one of the cool things about surfing for me and Inge is that it's also about the adventure of finding new places and finding new spots. So we had both been there before searching for waves. We just looked it up on the map and went there. And one time we went there on a trip together, and then we just got this idea because this place is so beautiful that you just get the feeling that this is a place I want to stay longer, not just for 1 day or 2 days hiking. And then we saw all the materials, all the garbage, all the stuff coming in from the ocean. And the first thought we had is, it's horrible that there's so much trash coming in from the sea and we should do something about this. But after a while you get inspired by all of this stuff, and then we just figured and started to think about, this could be an oven, this could be the chimney, and here it's enough wood to build a house, and this idea just kept spinning in our minds, and we couldn't lay it down, so then we just decided to go out and build a house and see what happened. And surf, of course. Surfing was one of the big motivations to go to exactly this place.
When you first got the first small spark of an idea until you were there building the cabin, how much time passed? How much time did you have to spend planning?
I think from we got the idea, it was exactly 1 year since we got the first kick on the idea, or the first inspiration. But we didn't plan a whole year before we went out. We should probably have done, but because we had a lot of, we weren't sure that we were going to do this. This was an idea that was spinning in our head during the whole year at film school. And actually at one point we decided not to do it because, oh no, we don't have time to do this. We should go out and apply for jobs or whatever. And then I think that's the reason why we decided to do it, because it's such a shame to let a so good idea go to waste. And this is the things we love to do. Be out in nature, surfing, having fun. So then we just decided to do it. And then we had 1 week before we went out. We did most of the planning. We always thought about it during the summer and stuff, and we had some ideas how to build a house and stuff, but didn't have this huge preparation. I remember I packed my sleeping bag the night before and just gathered all my stuff and we ran around. I was just running around in the house and trying to figure out what to bring. So it was quite spontaneous in a way. Yeah.
So tell me a little about this van that you guys have. It runs on vegetable oil. Whose van is it, and who did the conversion for it to run on vegetable oil?
The car you see it's Inge's car, and he have built, or you can buy this kit in a way, and then you just put it in your car yourself. It's not that hard actually. You just have to know some mechanics and stuff, and then you can do it yourself. You probably find good instructions for it on the internet too, I guess. But it's basically a kit you buy and then you install it yourself. And yeah, this is I know that this kind of car has been Inge's dream for a long time, and he was really, really stoked when he got it installed. It's super fun because when he's driving around, you can smell like popcorn after him. It's really nice, and it works really well too. It's a bit problem in the cold because you have to heat up the oil because it gets really stiff, or it freezes quite easily. So then you have to warm it up and before you can run on it. So you just start on diesel and then you warm it up and then you just switch a green button and then you're rolling.
Early on in the film, you get a visitor, a Finnish doctor shows up. Were you surprised to get a visitor there?
No, we weren't so surprised getting visitors. There was some hikers during the fall and some in the spring. But we were surprised when we learned that he was a doctor, because he looks like a hippie surfer with long hair and so relaxed and chill, and then he's a doctor. That was a really cool meeting because I don't know, it got so important for us, this meeting with him. He was just a cool guy that he just went to this place to check if there was surf too. So he was there for the same reason as us, and he just joined us and helped us building the house, and we ate food together, and yeah, it was super cool.
Tell me a little about the building of the house, as you call it, or I was calling it a cabin. Did you guys sort of make up the design as you went, as you were building it, or did you have sketches beforehand?
We had some ideas and sketches before we started the building, but we didn't know where we were going to put the house or where to place it. So we had a couple of days. We just ran around the whole bay and just tried to find the best spot for building the house, because we were really afraid of the strong winds that occurs in this area. So we spent quite a lot of time just finding the right place. And then we had some ideas, but it turned out totally different than we imagined. because the most important thing for us was that this house was as hidden as possible and that it blended into the nature as much as possible. And then we had to build it like nature was allowing us to do. Because the first time we went there, the feeling that we got from this beach was that this is an untouched area, and it's just so beautiful and wild, and we wanted to preserve this feeling for other people's when they were going there. Many people have just went straight by the cabin. They have been walking like 10 meters away from it, and they haven't discovered it. So that's really cool. So it turned out like this because of the rocks and stuff that was around. Yeah.
How did you get the idea to use the bottles for insulation?
The idea of insulation by bottles is from, I don't know if you heard about the Earth ships. It's like a sustainable house built of garbage. It's an architect doing this. And then you use just waste for building houses. And yeah, that was the inspiration. They also do this with empty bottles. And then they put it inside of concrete. And because when air is not moving, it's super good insulation. So yeah, the idea came from the Earth ships.
And also I was wondering about the design for your oven. Did you guys sort of make that up as you went, or were you inspired by something else?
The oven design is just totally what we found on the beach. There's not so much metal coming in from the sea because it sinks. So the only thing that floats that are of metal is these oil barrels, and they are perfect to build a stove from. So yeah. It was quite naturally to use one of those.
How did you end up coming to meet this farmer that helped you out?
The farmer, we met his wife the first time. We were building the house in the bay, and these farmers, they have sheep that are walking around in these areas, and she was out searching for one of her sheep. And then we met her, and we just started talking, and yeah, she was a great lady, and we were telling what we were doing, and they said that we could have the car parked at their place, and we could, get electricity when we need to charge our batteries and stuff for our cameras, and yeah, they were just super nice people that wanted to help us. And then we kept an eye on their sheep as a favor in return.
How were the two of you able to get along? Did you get along well over this time, being alone for so long?
Actually, we thought that we were going to kill each other during this period, or not kill each other, but at least have some big arguments and stuff. But it went really well. And I think the reason for that is that we kind of had some rules, or not rules, but we tried to work as much together on things as possible, and try to respect each other's opinions. So if it was really, really important for Inge to have a round door, I said, yeah, okay, that's fine. And next time, maybe it was really, really important for me to build something else in my way, and then we did that. So we always tried to respect each other's and give each other space. And I think also the key was to, when we were, like after a while, after some months, it was important to go out and do different projects. Like one would go and chop wood, and the other would fix the leak in the roof or whatever. And I think that was a good thing.
In the movie, you write in your journal, and I'm wondering, do you have any intentions on writing a book about this experience?
We don't have any intentions of writing a book. We just kept a diary every day, just for ourselves, actually, just to make sure that we remembered stuff that you maybe forget later. And that turned out to be really great. When we were editing the film, we could just go back in our diaries and get back to that feeling we had in the beach. And yeah, it's so much easier to get into that vibe when you have the words that you were writing in that feeling. And it's just a nice way to go back to that feeling.
Did you guys spend a lot of time when you were in the cabin talking about the movie? Talking about, we should get a shot from this angle, or we should set up the camera here? Was there that kind of conversation going on?
Both yes and no. Film is one of our biggest interests and the thing we love most. So, of course, we were sitting there talking about angles and cool shots, and it would be cool to have this surf picture and la 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 la. But we didn't sit in the cabin and discuss the movie too much. Maybe more like angles and cool shots and cool pictures. But the movie, we didn't plan to make this long documentary in the beginning. In the beginning, we thought of making something a bit smaller, and we never thought it was going to travel worldwide and go on national TV and TV channels all over. Our first plan was to make a film that we could send to some festivals and show our friends. And then just the snowball just grew bigger and bigger after a while.
Yeah, congratulations on, I know for sure that you won the Banff Grand Prize, and that's fantastic. So congratulations to you two guys. I don't know what other awards that you've won, but it's certainly an amazing movie. You guys did an excellent job.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little technical stuff about the film. What kind of cameras were you using?
We were using the Canon 5Ds Mark II. We had 2 of those, 1 each. And we had some small microphones on top of them. And we had some LED lights to just light up the cabin inside, because candles isn't enough. And some tripods and stuff. Yeah, we tried to minimize our camera equipment because it's heavy to carry and more stuff can get broken.
I thought the movie was edited extremely well. Who did the editing?
We had an external editor, another person doing that. That sounds weird. It was a girl who was editing the film, and she was really talented, really, really good at editing. And we were just sitting with her. We sat with her for, 5 months or something, editing every day together.
What's her name?
Her name is Marta.
Oh, she did a fantastic job.
Yeah, she was really cool. She had some great ideas, and it's always nice to have some different eyes looking at the material, because we had 140 or 130 hours of raw material, and it's really hard to choose. It's really hard to pick the 46 minutes out of 130 hours. So then it's nice to have another person, giving you an opinion.
Okay, so in the movie, when you guys go shopping for food, you say that if it's past the expiration date, you get it for free. Is that really true?
Yeah, it sounds weird, but it's true. It's not on every store. It's just some. Yeah, or it's some shops that have this rule, because they say that we are so good at cleaning our store and getting out or getting away all of out of their food. So if you find something, you will get it for free.
So what happens when you go to the cashier? You just say, hey, all of this. Do they have to look at every individual item to check?
Yeah. So it's quite a lot of job for them. In the beginning, they were quite angry at us, because I don't think it's meant that people. I think it's meant that if they find 1 or 2 items, they can go to the register and say, "Oh, look, we found something." But we are searching to be able to have enough food to live off. We're searching through the whole store, so we're going through every item in the whole store and checking the date. And then when you are coming with like 2 full shopping carts, they get a bit like, wow, is this possible? And they have to scan everything and go through everything. But after a while, when we have been on this store many times, they started to trust us. Then they just checked some of it, and then they just scanned everything.
Wow, I think they were embarrassed that you found that they had so much out-of-date food on their shelves.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think they're embarrassed, because I think it's like this in every shop. It's just that usually you don't see it because some of the expiration dates are really hard to find, and they're selling so much stuff. So I think it's impossible to keep everything clean, if you're going to say that. But some of them, they think it's a bit stupid that we do this, but some of the people working in the store, they think it's super cool. Because if we don't come and get it, they have to throw it away. And that's such a waste, just throwing away so much good food, and it's perfectly edible. So we never got sick or anything by eating this, and we have been doing this for a long time. So it's a good way to save it from the garbage dump.
During the film, you talk about maybe it would be easier to just turn back and wake up in a warm bed with clean clothes. What motivated you guys to stay out there and complete the movie and complete spending the winter there?
It was just because it was so much fun. If you weighed the good parts contra the bad parts, the good parts were so much heavier. It was just so much fun, and actually we never thought about going back. But you always get these ideas in your head when you're out walking and you're wet everywhere and you're cold and you're freezing, and then you're thinking like, oh, it would be nice to go in a warm shower. But we never thought about actually turning back, because we just had so much fun, and it was just such a great experience, just living outside, having things more simple. We didn't have any appointments. We can just let the time flow. That was just super. And it's just so nice when you're living in this kind of a place, and when you're staying so much or spending so much time in one place, you kind of it's like meditating. You get rid of all the noise around you. There's no advertisement and people trying to sell you stuff, and all of these impressions TVs and stuff. So it's just nice to get that out of the way and just focus on the nature and the things around you. You get more, you kind of feel more like you're living in the moment when you don't have all of this stuff around you.
The movie's called North of the Sun, and the reason it's called that is because the sun disappears for several months when you guys are there, because you're so far north. What is that like to be without the sun for so long?
It's kind of weird, especially when you don't have a house, when you're just living outside, because what you usually do when you're living in these conditions in wintertime, you just go in and you turn on the light, and then it's much better. But we didn't have that. But I love it. It's super nice because there's so much other kind of light. You have the northern lights and you have the stars. They're so clear, and then you get really focused during the day to get something out of the day because the hours are so short. So I think it's a good feeling in the dark period. You can sit in front of the firewood and just think. You have more time inside, I think. And I think we slept a lot during this time. I don't know how much, because we didn't bring a watch or anything like that. So we just went to bed when we felt tired and woke up when we woke up. So I think we slept a lot during this time. Of course, you get so much energy from the sun, and you can feel that on your body. But it's nice. I like it.
Jørn, if you were going to go back and do this again, would you do anything differently?
I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's kind of a hard question because we had a great experience, and for that reason, I wouldn't have done anything differently. But if there's some things, I think we probably would have placed the house a different place, because we didn't think of the avalanches that are going in the area. So there was some stone avalanches going quite near the cabin, and that was quite scary.
You mean like falling rocks?
Yeah, falling rocks. I remember we were sitting inside eating lunch, and then it felt like there was like horses flying over, like a herd of horses running over our roof. And we just went out, and I just saw a lot of stones just falling from the mountain. They were rolling at this super high speed, and there's so much power in them. And then we just ran out, and we just hid behind the big rock that our house is leaning to. So yeah, probably would have put the house a different place, I guess. And one more thing, I think we would have. I think we would have tried to store more food, maybe bring more food, because then we could have stayed for a longer period at a time. Because it was always a bummer when we needed to go back to charge batteries and get more food, and that was around once a month. So it would have been nice to be able to just stay there for a longer time.
Where can people purchase a copy of this movie?
You can buy a copy of the film on Vimeo, Vimeo on demand. I think the address is Vimeo on demand / North of the Sun. So there it's possible to buy a digital copy of the film, the greenest way. And the DVDs are out on some stores, but they're not available in the US yet. Because we have a different TV system.
Jørn, what's next for you?
What's next for me? Yeah, right now I'm living in Oslo, so I think I'm gonna move somewhere else with more nature. And then I have a film project about skateboarding in the Arctic. That's my big thing during this winter and next winter. So then we're going to skateboard on frozen sand. So we'll see how that works out. Inge he has actually done a similar project where he went to a place called the Bear Island together with his two brothers. And they went up there searching for surfable waves. It's quite close to Svalbard, so it's even further north on a tiny island. And they were playing, surfing, and searching for waves. That's going to be a new movie that he's going to release this fall. So stay tuned for that. I think it's going to be amazing.
How can people contact you if they want to learn more about the film?
I think the best way to contact me and Inge is to go on Facebook. That's where everybody is these days. And just search for North of the Sun or Nord for Sola, and then you will be able to contact us.
Okay, Jørn Nyseth Ranum, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. You guys did a fantastic job on your movie. Congratulations for winning the grand prize at the Banff Film Festival and all the other awards you've won. And good luck with your future efforts. Thank you. Super. Recorded January 26, 2014. For more great podcasts, visit thepursuitzone.com.